Every play on the board tonight here from NBA, NHL, MLB. We got through the NBA, we got through the NHL. If you want those, go back and watch the replay of the show because right now we're moving forward to MLB. Big MLB card today, Ramon. So let's get this one underway here with the MLB rundown tonight. We've got the Guardians and Rockies again to kick it off in Major League Baseball. Early start, 6:10 Eastern time. We've got Feltner and Battenfield. Inclement weather forecasted here. Guardians 210, total of 8.
Yeah, but only 5% chance of a postponement according to my site that I use. But yeah, there's definitely some weather we'll talk about in upper Midwest region there. We can discuss through as we go through the card. So with Feltner and Battenfield in this one, Colorado, I think. We expect kind of Colorado to be a team that kind of surprises early. This has been their track record, and just an overall lack of talent has kind of usually cost them kind of late, but maybe just too thin in the pitching department here. Feltner, he has some promise maybe, but a 6 ERA so far right now. Rockies ice cold, have won just 11 of their last 13 games. They're not producing very much offensively as well. As far as Battenfield is concerned, he's had a couple of decent starts. He doesn't go too deep, but Guardians aren't playing that well either, and to be a $2 favorite does seem like a little risk here, even against the Rockies. But both these teams have been trending under, but I'm not sure now. The steam came in on the under, and the total's 8. I know it's a cold night, but man, I'm not sure that the pitching can still hold up here, even with two teams that are trending under. I'm going to take over 8 runs here, going against the Sharps a little bit here.
All right, everyone says go over 8 runs here. Going against the Sharps from Ramon Scott here on the Rockies and the Guardians. All right, let's continue on here on the rundown. Next up, Red Sox and Orioles get together. Kluber's been a struggle here, facing Bradish. A good start this year, bad year last year.
You can see, for Kluber, you kind of wonder when it was going to, is it, a lack of stability right now in his mechanics and his arm, and is he just trying to force through it? Is it just something where at his age now or getting up there, and does he have to, work through it a little bit? But an 8.5 ERA, that's not necessarily going to cut it at this time. Red Sox haven't been able to win with him, and the Red Sox are starting to put something together here, having won 7 of their last 11 games. Now, Bradish, I think this is okay. He's only gone 7 2/3 innings in those 2 starts, but no ERA so far. Orioles have won them both, and Orioles certainly clicking at this point. 14-5 in their last 19 games. Still, move has come in here. The Orioles, and $1.60 does seem like this is a pretty good price, but I think the Boston lineup should be able to do something here. But man, Turner, Hernan, and Kike may be in there, Tony. They won't be in there. I'm just saying that they might have an okay matchup against Bradish. The Red Sox lineup still gets something done. I don't know if I just trust them to be able to get a double-digit victory here. Prices are kind of marginal at Orioles, $1.06 line on the Red Sox, $1.45. I'll take the 1.5 here with the Red Sox. Tony, Clover's got to figure something out.
All right, Ramon says take the plus 1.5 runs with the Red Sox, plus 150 against the Orioles in this one. Let's continue on here on the rundown. Joined by Ramon Scott. We'll get through every MLB game for today. Next up, Dodgers and the Pirates. Dodgers head out east to open up this series against the hot Pirate teams are playing well. They've been good against us in a favorite role, 16-7 on the year. Noah Syndergaard on the hill here for LA to face Johan Oviedo, who's off to a great start.
Yeah, and we've seen some news come out in this game with the lineups. No Trace Thompson tonight. Max Muncy's hitting the paternity list. Brian Reynolds is out of this game I guess he's counting his money, Tony. And you need a whole day off to count up the bucks that he just got in his 8-year contract today. So nice job, guy who probably deserves it. And well, the Pirates, they deserve what's going on right now with their great start. This is great. The Pirates, all the Pirates fans, I don't know, Tony, they're celebrating like they're in the postseason with his 16-7 start. It's very exciting. it's awesome because it's out of nowhere. This lineup should be actually well slotted against a guy like Syndergaard right now. Syndergaard, obviously, close to 5 ERA so far in 4 starts. Dodgers haven't been able to win with him. They have won 3 out of their last 4. Oviedo, nice numbers with that ERA under 1 so far and a 2-1 record. Bucks have won 3 out of his 4 starts. Bucks are 7-game winning streak, winning 15 of their last 20. They're 7-3 at home. I think the Pirates are going to be able to get some offense going here. That Dodger offense still, Tony, top 5 in the league. I don't know if Oviedo can hold them down that much. And if I'm dealing here with that total there, 8.5, I'm going to go over with the Dodgers and the Bucks.
All right, everyone says go over here. Dodgers and the Bucks over 8.5 runs. Let's continue here on the rundown. MLB with Ramon Scott. Next up, we got the Rangers here and the Reds going head-to-head. Exciting game last night. But Martin Perez, the left-hander on the hill for Texas, faced Luke Weaver, the righty for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I took an L yesterday. Certainly the Rangers have the offense, but the Reds were able to put a bunch of runs together as well and end up winning at the bottom of the 9th inning. Steam came in on the Reds. It's kind of tough when you're going on with Weaver. He allowed 4 runs in 6 innings in that start that he had. The Reds are coming back with him here again against Perez. Maybe, but we expect more from Perez. Granted, they've won 3 out of his 4 games that he's been in there. He's got the decision in each one of them, but he has an ERA close to 6 so far this season. Texas, we know, has been red hot, but Cincinnati was able to cool him down certainly in that game yesterday. Here you have another game where I believe the conditions are a little bit chilly. We're looking at, it starts in the high 50s but gets down to the high 40s by the end of the game here. I think this one's going to be an under here. Rangers are going over big time, but the Reds have gone under in 5 of their last 6. We did see offense last night. Weaver can get out there and throw 6 innings. I'm willing to go with that, especially against a team like Texas. I'll go under in this one, Tony. A little bit of a high number here, considering it'll be a little bit chilly tonight. Under 9.5. That's what's got me on the under.
Okay, Ramon says under 9.5. Rangers and Reds. Let's continue on. Next up, Astros and Rays. Rays make it 14 in a row at home. They're big favorites here, laying here $1.85 here against the Astros. And of course, the total sits here at 8 in this game. It's Luis Garcia against Drew Rasmussen.
Yeah, if anything, right, we saw those losses, so we saw, is it over for the Rays just because they're winning streak? Well, no, not necessarily. They're only 20-3, so why wouldn't the Rays continue to roll right now with a pitcher like Rasmussen? The send-out was way lower than this. You're not going to get any value here with the Rays, certainly. Garcia, 5 ERA so far, 1-2 record. Astros are 1-3 in his starts. He's been kind of the weak link so far because the Astros are starting to pick up steam a little bit. They're 9-5 in their last 14 games. We know we expect more from the Astros. We haven't seen a good bullpen from them like we're used to, maybe necessarily, but Rasmussen very solid thus far with his 2 ERA. But the Rays continue to smash with that near maybe number 1 offense, maybe number 2 offense. No matter what, the Rays have been solid. And with this total, Tony, down there right now at 7.5, I know that Rasmussen has been pretty good, but the Rays are hitting, and I would imagine that this Astro lineup doesn't look like the best spot necessarily, but we did see a little bit of long ball. The Astros have not been very good with the long ball yet, but I would expect them to be able to put up at least 3 here. I'm going to end up taking the over at 7.5 with Houston and Tampa Bay.
All right, everyone says go over the total. Shop get the best number, 7.5. There are some H's you see there, but everyone likes over 7.5 here on the Astros and the Rays. Let's continue on here on the rundown. Baseball rundown with Ramon. We already covered NBA and NHL. You can watch the replay for those picks. Let's continue on here on our rundown here on Tuesday on game day picks. Ramon with the rundown full card rundown. Mariners and the Phillies tonight. Note the pitching change. We had thought maybe overnight it would have been, I believe, Kirby. Instead, we're going to get in this one Marco Gonzalez against Bailey Falter. Phillies minus 130. Total sits at 9.
Yeah, and Gilbert was listed, so it looks like a little bit of a cluster, if you will, for Seattle heading into this one. I mean, the move, when the here's the thing, Marco is not woeful. So why the big move on a team like Philadelphia right now in this matchup? And that's what has me most concerned. I would think in this one, didn't see yet because it was such a late breaking situation. What Gilbert's deal was, or whoever you mentioned another pitcher, but no matter what the case is, Marco Gonzalez is in there now, and that's triggered a big move here on the Phillies to up to a buck 25 or so. It looks like almost too big of an adjustment. Certainly here. I mean, I'd be willing to still come in with Marco Gonzalez. I mean, I'm not sure that Falter, he's 0-3 so far, 4.33 ERA. So that would be of a concern to me. Now, the Phillies are starting to play pretty well, having won 6 of their last 8 games. And, well, the Mariners, they, they're still just 10-12. Both teams similar records. The Phillies 11-12 here. So I don't know. To me, with this move and the total, they only reissue the total out there. Let me see. It's 9. I'm going to have to go under in this one, Tony, just on principle alone. I don't know that. I don't think Marco Gonzalez is a tremendous downgrade necessarily in this one, and I would think against this lineup that the Phillies are currently, they are heating up, but Phillies, I still have them probably top 6 or 7 offense. I'm going to go under in this one, Tony. I don't at 9. I'm just playing the number here. Under for me.
Under for Ramon, under 9 here, Mariners and Phillies. Just note that this is not the sharpest book in the world. This is from one of the U.S.-based sports books, only because they had a line on that Met game, which some of them did not have. So that's what we're using here on this, this line feed on this sport. And NBA and NHL was the sharpest book in the world. This one is not on this line feed, only because they had odds on some of the games that were missing odds everywhere. So let's continue on here on the show. Next up, White Sox and Blue Jays getting together here. Clevenger and Berrios on the mound. Berrios at home. So you see the odds here, 210 on the Blue Jays, total of 9.
Yeah, you're talking Berrios like he's a Cy Young candidate out there, Tony. He's definitely done pretty well with a 2.25 ERA thus far, but I know that these teams' records are almost reversed. I mean, Toronto 14-9, White Sox another shaky start at 7-16 currently. So Berrios, he has been good, no doubt about it. Toronto 5-2 at home, but man, $2 does look a little bit high. I mean, I'm critical of Clevenger certainly, but the numbers are pretty solid. If anything, he's found a little bit of something so far with his new club. 3.32 ERA, 2-1 record thus far. It does have an okay track record against some of these Toronto bats as well. We know the White Sox are in a bad funk right now, losing 13 of their last 17 games. They're just 4-10 on the road, but I just don't think I don't see it as a $2 favorite in this one, Tony. Especially the Blue Jays. They've only gone over in one of their last 13 games, so closer game than people might think. At $2, I'm going to end up taking the White Sox on the run line.
All right, Ramon says go White Sox on the run line. Take the run and a half, minus 120 here against the Blue Jays. Let's continue on here on Game Day Picks. It's the MLB Rundown with Ramon. We've already covered NBA and NHL. Check out the replay for those picks. Next up, Nationals and Mets. This is the one that took forever to get the line out. This line provider had one out right before showtime. We posted here. Nationals and Mets here. It looks like Josiah Gray and Budo, the overnight pitcher, will remain slotted in as a starter for the Mets. We have the Mets $2. Total sits here 8.5.
Yeah, Budo gets named just as we were kind of hitting the air. I think as an opener, this is going to be a bullpen game. I'm sure from what we saw previously as well. I think they had to actually maneuver their roster a little bit. That just shows you the situation the Mets are currently in with their pitching a little bit. I think that's a bit of a problem here, even against a team like the Nationals. Now they probably have plenty of bats to go up against poor Josiah Gray. I say poor Josiah Gray because he's 0-4. He's actually mustered through some pretty good numbers. A 3.74 ERA works out of a little bit of trouble. I think he's a pitcher who can continue to get better. I know everybody's pretty disappointed with some of his returns, but I think Gray will turn it around somewhat. I don't know against this lineup, Tony, man. With Nemo in there, Lindor, McNeil, these guys have the up arrow on today's game for sure. Gray's had his struggles with the Mets in his starts. I do trust that the Mets can get through this game somehow. They still won 11 of their last 16, but they definitely have some pitching strains right now with Max hitting the shelf and things like that. They might have had to put somebody on the IL to get Budo eligible. Actually, not sure. I didn't check the dynamics of the roster to get him in here, but I know that that's what they were talking about when they were trying to figure out who was going to end up being a starter in this one. So I'll take over in this one. Tony, you got to figure the Mets can mash a little bit against Gray and that bullpen, and maybe if the Mets are trekking out several guys out there, the Nationals can get some as well. It's not a horrible spot for a couple of these guys like Lane Thomas and Meneses, so I'll go over.
Ramon says go over 8.5 here, Nationals and Mets. Let's continue on here on MLB Rundown. Next up, we got the Marlins and the Braves. Strider with a magnificent pitching performance last night. Today, we got Hoeing and Morton on the hill. We see the Braves minus 225. Total sits at 185. Total sits at 9.
Yeah, all you got to do is put on that Marlins uniform, and you can become a good pitcher, as what we've seen here. And Hoeing coming in, he did taste the major leagues a little bit last year and was pretty bad, so he'll have a little bit of a learning curve, certainly, especially against a team like Atlanta. Last year in 12 innings gave up 5 home runs, 17 runs, so not an experienced major league pitcher. But Miami, they're shadowed some of the other good starts. They are just 12-11, but certainly no one thought they'd be a team that's going to be over 500. And whether or not they continue on this season, it doesn't matter right now. They're doing a nice job. They're definitely providing plenty of value for their backers so far. Miami is certainly a profitable team, and I think the public's on that a little bit here. We've actually seen some take back from the opening line. So I don't know. That sounds like a sharp move, certainly, but the ticket percentage doesn't necessarily reflect this $2 favorite. So maybe further investigating needs to be determined by me. But I think that indicates that maybe Hoeing could get in there and deliver a little bit something against this Atlanta lineup today. Morton, he's been pretty good, 4 ERA so far in 4 starts. Atlanta, they're struggling a little bit, losing 4 out of their last 5 games. He's going to have to come up with a good pitching performance. We saw what happened last night. I would think that maybe we could get a low-scoring game here, actually. And if that total right now, currently sitting at 9, I would favor to take the under here.
All right, Ramon says go under a total of 9 here, Marlins and Braves. Let's continue here on our MLB Rundown here. Join Ramon Scott. We already covered the NBA and NHL early in the show, so you can just reverse the video back to the beginning and get those picks. Let's continue on here on the Rundown. Next up, we've got the Tigers and Brewers. ESPN Plus has this one. Spencer Turnbull on the hill for Detroit. Eric Lauer, the lefty, going here for Milwaukee.
Yeah, for Milwaukee, Tony, I mean, what could you say? Well, yesterday, definitely a pretty good ball game. Turnbull's been pretty weak so far, 7.85 ERA, just 1-3 with his record. Detroit's lost 4 out of their last 5 games. Lauer continues to be solid. Throw him out there, and he'll get you some good innings. And he's got an ERA of just 2 so far. Perfect record at 2-0. This is definitely public favorites that I'm been capitalizing on in the major leagues. Nobody likes to lay a lot of juice. That's going to doom you long term in the major leagues, but that's the way the results have been kind of coming in so far. It's going to start to move away a little bit. The game like this, it actually kind of scares me that the line has moved stiffly to Milwaukee. Yes, they are the far better team so far at 15-8. Detroit's got nearly a reverse of that record at 8-13. Tigers pretty bad on the road, but I'm not sure I can pass up the price here at $1.35. I'm going to take Detroit on the run line tonight, plus 1.5.
All right, Ramon Scott here is going to do run line here in this one. He likes the plus 1.5 runs with Detroit Tigers here at minus 135. All right, let's continue here on the rundown with Ramon Scott. Next up, we've got the Padres and the Cubs tonight going head-to-head. We got Blake Snell on the hill, the lefty, to face Justin Steele, the lefty, here for Chicago.
Yeah, the story is going to be, I think, the weather in this one, Tony. And you see the stiff move on the total under. You know how it goes when you're handicapping baseball. I've kind of said it on the morning show. Wake up and check the weather in Chicago, and that's how you start your handicapping. This total is 7/20 in a game where, Blake Snell, yeah, you have two left-handers, but Snell has not been getting enough done. Necessarily. Everyone kind of picks on him a little bit. I kind of, have been looking to try to find spots to take the Padres on the road here. Not sure this is going to be the one today necessarily. Snell with a 6.5 ERA. They've lost all 4 of his starts so far. He's had some pretty good success against the Cubs. Steele has been just the opposite. Got an ERA of 1.8 with a perfect record so far. Cubs have won 3 of his 4 games. But in a game where we saw a total that, I don't know, before the weather, the send out, whatever, I did see a total as high as 8 or even an 8.5 out there opened up at a couple of the books. That didn't last long, and some of those that weren't even available because a lot of times you can't even bet Cubs totals until the day of the game. But I think the line tells it all. Let's take a look at that weather report, Tony. Right now, low 40s to start the game, high 30s by the end of the game. No precipitation, but that wind is blowing in from left field. 10 miles an hour to start. It does go down as the game goes along, a less stiff wind, but cold conditions tonight. I'm going to go under in Padres and Cubs.
All right, Ramon says go under these cold conditions. We could be, it's 41 degrees, maybe even in the 30s. Could even get to freezing. It's going to be one of those cold spring nights in Chicago. All right, let's continue on here on our rundown with Ramon Scott. Every play on the board for Major League Baseball. Next up, Yankees and Twins going head-to-head here in Minnesota. We see the Twins here laying $1.25. Total really low too, 6.5. Another cold night there, it looks like, in Minnesota. But a good pitching matchup, Cortez against Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know if I was being contrarian last night with the Twins as a premium or not. I mean, certainly everybody still wants to talk about the Yankees' dominance over the Twins, but I think the Twins showed last night that they're a different outfit, and you can almost throw that one a little bit out the window. Always going to respect a long-term trend like that, but I thought Minnesota did a pretty strong job last night. I think Joe Ryan certainly is going to be overlooked here. He's got an 0-2 record with a 3.65 ERA, but to me, the metrics look pretty good. I think Ryan is a definite consideration here in this one. Cortez has a 3-0 record, 3.18 ERA. Yeah, he's done pretty well as well. So I think you said it, Tony. It is a good pitching matchup. Ryan is not to be overlooked here. He's won in some underdog spots already as well. Twins have won the last 2 games after a little bit of a slump. Yankees come in. They've scored just 6 runs in their last 4 games. We know this offense is almost boom or bust. They've gone under in 9 of their last 10. I think this bodes well for Minnesota tonight. I'm going to look to take the Twins here as a short favorite against the Yankees. For sure, Tony. In fact, if I may, how about if I call it a freemium? I really like the Twins tonight.
Likes the Twins there, probably the best so far. That's probably the best play so far on this show, that he's liked the Twins here at minus 125. I guess if we had a regular game day pick show, this might have been the one. That one pick he put on the show. Usually the cappers like to put their best free pick on the live shows. All right, minus 125 here with the Twins in this one. Let's continue on here with the rundown, Ramon's rundown here on game day picks here for Tuesday. Again, we've already covered NBA and NHL. We go back, reverse back to the beginning of the show for those picks. Next up, we go out west for the West Coast games. Athletics and Angels had a wild one last night here. Tonight we got Mason Miller, who had I guess for A standards, a pretty good opening day start for him against the Angels here. Miller against Canning. Of course, the bullpen came in, gave up 10 runs in that game against the Cubs here. Angels big favorites, total of 9.
Yeah, I can't make any more excuses, Tony. I'm trying to sell you on the stats overall, and sure, you can go through and have a great bullpen, right, for 3 innings, but it's obviously closing out games. It's a big problem right now. The Angels can't seem to get it done, and even against a team like Oakland, that one of the worst teams in the league certainly right now. I mean, the whole season's just a disaster at this point. They've got all their issues moving forward, but Miller, 81 pitches as well, so that bodes pretty well, I would think. I think the Sharps are definitely going to look to Oakland here, especially at this price, so maybe that might be the way that I would look as well. We know that Oakland's been in it in a bad way, but they have won 2 of their last 4 games. That's a hot streak. They've gone over in 15 of those 23 games thus far. And the Angels, Griffin Canning, no record yet, but a 3.48 ERA. Angels, they're just 6-9 in their last 15 games. You mentioned that bullpen, and they are kind of, getting a lot of work, Tony, no doubt about it. Last 3 days, the bullpen, nearly 12 innings pitched. So how are they going to beat Oakland by more than 1 run? I don't think they can beat anybody by more than 1 run. I'm willing to take Oakland here, plus 1.5 at minus $1.35.
All right, Mon says the run line here with Athletics, take the plus 1.5 runs, minus 135 here against the Angels in this one. Let's continue here on the rundown. Major League Baseball with Ramon. Next up, Royals and D-backs. D-backs got the money last night. Tonight they're favored minus 145. Big total of 10 here. Singer on the hill for KC and Nelson for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, maybe I got burned a little bit. I thought an over game was in order, if you will, and ended up going just under. But Singer pretty weak so far. 10 ERA, 0-2 record. Nelson ERA just under 5. But again, I mean, are you telling me you're gonna total of 10 here again? I'm going to look to go under, Tony. Don't have a lot of support, but as far as these starters are concerned, but they didn't get there last night. I'm not sure they can get there again tonight, just given the situation. They steamed it over, no doubt. I guess they're just looking at these stats, and I can see why. Arizona's gone. They trend over certainly in this one, and Kansas City has gone over in all 4 of Singer's starts. Got no answer, no excuse. Maybe I'm on tilt from losing last night's game going over, and at 10 runs, I'm going to take the under tonight as my free play here to in the game tonight.
All right, Ramon here says Royals D-backs under total of 10 runs. All right, let's continue on here on the rundown here, joined by Ramon Scott. Next up here, it's the late night game to close out our segment here with Ramon. We've got the Cardinals and the Giants going head to head here. We've got the Giants minus 115, total of 9. Woodford on the hill. It looks like we've got a primary pitcher here of Jacob Junis.
Yeah, and Bravia gets the opening chores. That's usually his role. So when you see him in there, you're going to get a opener here, and Junis comes in. So and even Junis, I don't know how long necessarily he'll work, but Giants have won 3 straight. Cardinals with Woodford, he's got a 6 ERA thus far. Hasn't been perfect necessarily, but I don't know if the Giants right now. I mean, who would have thought? Cardinals, Giants, both teams. Well under 500 thus far, 9-14 Cards, 9-13 for the Giants. So Cardinals haven't been terrific, but I'm going to take Woodford in this game on the road. They're just almost a pick'em proposition here, and I'm not sure what I'm seeing from the Giants is enough to support even that price at this point. This is a toss-up. I'm not flipping a coin, but I'm going to trust St. Louis here to get the win.
Ramon says take St. Louis here to get the win here, minus the 105. All right, that was our run here by Ramon Scott here on our show on Game Day Picks. We do this every Tuesday with Ramon. We go through the rundown here from Major League Baseball. NBA and NHL. There is no, we've got through all the games. So Ramon, now it's time to let everybody know what you have going over at Tony'sPicks.com. That great record, 6,208 units of profit, all documented over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can verify that by going over to our handicapper page. Go down to Ramon's page, scroll down, and you'll see all the pick history there. All right, we've got NBA playoffs on the board, NHL playoffs, a full card here from Major League Baseball. What do you have going on over at the site?
Well, again, my featured package tonight, Tony's got to be that NHL package. Go to our handicapper leaderboard 2.0 and see what all the hype is about. I mean, really, that's where I'm doing all the crushing right now. So I've got to feature this 3-pack today for $30 over at Tony'sPicks.com. Like I said, as soon as I post this, it starts flying off the shelves because people look at that, and I've explained it right there. You might even be able to read it. Those are, you don't have to even go into handicapping 2.0. I'm not going to make this up. Right there, plus 2421 units this year to go along with the 3101 from last year. Hockey's been like printing money, so please pick up this 3-pack today in tonight's action in the NHL. Right there, NBA discount best bet, my $15 Tony's Pick special. That's the way we like to package it sometimes, give people a taste of what we're doing over at Tony's Picks. Pick up that NBA package tonight. I'll also have a Major League Baseball package. Kind of see where I wanted to go on the show, Tony, a little bit, and I wanted to give people a little bit of variety. Actually, kind of pivoted a little bit off of your videos, so wasn't necessarily sure which ones I'm going to end up liking for the premiums tonight, and going to finalize that and start to look at some of these lineups. Like I said, we did see some guys like Brian Reynolds signing that 8-year contract, and then he gets the night off. What is this, the NBA? Anyways, I'll have a package tonight in Major League Baseball. I'm not going to stop firing in the major leagues, Tony, so be on the lookout for that one. It'll be coming out within the next 30 to 45 minutes as I get to take a look at a few more lineups and finalize that. Want to keep this number going, want to make sure that all the long-term subscribers to the 3-day, the 7-day, the 30-day get all the best picks on the card today in Major League Baseball. So stand by. You're going to get some great selections tonight, and we'll have packages available. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages at Tony'sPicks.com from not only me, but our other team of handicappers. Appreciate when Tony's talking about that great number right now, but again, we do have other cappers as well producing some very strong winning percentages of late, Tony, that are the equivalent of what I'm putting up there. It's just that I deal in more volume. And so, if anything, my style is really going to cater a little bit to people who are looking to play volume, maybe people who are looking to get their bankroll rolling a little bit with a little bit more action. I keep you in action from start to finish on the betting card. And so what you end up doing is getting a chance to build your bankroll a little bit faster. So please consider the 3-day, the 7-day, the 30-day, because you can come in with a modest amount on those plays. I mean, if you're paying for picks, we know you got to put down, several dollars, if you will, on these games. So my packages kind of get you started where you can come in and play for, 2, 3, or 4, you know what I mean, and then build it from there. And you see when I'm on a roll like this, you can quickly build up that bankroll and increase those bets a little bit, just percentage-wise. Don't go crazy. Just keep on increasing as the units continue to grow. So going to be a fun night there. Tony over at Tony's Picks, and great card. A little bit disappointed with these NBA games, trying to sweep them out with these double digits. And maybe we just need to get to the next round. Maybe the NBA playoffs, they have a little format. Maybe their format's a problem, Tony.
No, I think it's all right. Sometimes you get these teams that get blown out. And that's just the way it rolls. Injuries.
Play in and how it ends up in this situation. But we do have some injuries too.
Yeah, there are some injuries as well. But again, I'm okay with the extra game. So get on board. Everyone's got over at Tony's Picks and NHL 3-pack. As I said, of course, that NBA discount bet, $15 premium play there is for you because get on board there. Now, instead of buying these plays individually, the way Ramon's running, I would suggest that 1 month all sports pass from Ramon. Get Ramon's premium plays. All of his premium plays here for 30 days. That includes all NBA. That'll take you right into the third round of the NBA playoffs as well as NHL. For 30 days. That takes you to May 20, to May 24th. So that's a lot of action there. We're getting right into the third round here of NBA and NHL playoffs. There's MLB here for 30 days, as well as peripheral sports on UFC nights. There's UFC cards, some Bellator thrown in as well. We're going to get into that time of the year where tennis has come into play. They may also find some tennis, may find some soccer. That's how he fills up his card as we start to dwindle down these teams. So it's a good time to get on board with Ramon Scott. That 1 month pass is great. And we'll save you $66 off that 1 month pass when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access Ramon's page by clicking the link you see there in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, then you'll land right on Ramon's page. So go ahead and get signed up. All right, Ramon. Also, they can find you. We put together a tour account for you over at Tony's Picks. Ramon, the morning team back tomorrow, and of course, a little more content there on the Discord.
Tony, do I have any picks I can even go to put on Twitter tonight? I've given out every game I've got. I've got one for you. It's going to come to you in the National Hockey League tonight, so log on. I have that one going when I send out my baseball card. I'll send out a free winner as well. I'll give out some more free winners in minor league football in our Discord as well, Tony. Don't forget. I think the results, I think my minor league, my XFL, my USFL still need a few more games, but I'm firing a little bit. We've hit some of them pretty good. The losses have been, it's funny, the wins have been more than the losses, but the losses have been so bad, I kind of feel like it's a wash. But give out some free picks over there on some of the other sports. And yeah, for me, it's only a matter of time. I don't rely on printouts and a bunch of computers. I do rely on those, certainly, but I mean, I've got Mindy to give me her crucial numbers and certainly great information on the Morning Steam Show. We're back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 a.m. Pacific with more Morning Steam. Mindy gives out all of her numbers and picks, and then I pivot from there. And we've been on a good streak over the last 10 days, Tony. We're in the profit. We know. We track every pick over at Tony'sPicks.com with our Morning Steam consensus picks. You go back and look at Handicapper Leaderboard 2.0, pick the last week or so, you'll see. Then you can go back down. You can even customize it, I think, a little bit and look on the handicapper profile page where the Morning Steam is, and you can see the results that Mindy and I are putting up as well. So you need more free winners. We'll be back tomorrow with those. So yeah, it's only a matter of time for me, Tony, as far as getting them I don't know, hand doing it by hand to a certain extent because I'm an old guy, but we'll have winners for you in some of those other sports as these playoffs wind down. Give me a little bit of a chance. There you see the Stars. I don't think they got it done against the Panthers in there, but we did have some USFL and XFL picks in there as well. And look at Latifah. She had her. Look at this, Tony. One of our fans went to the game last night. Look at that. Good seats, eh, buddy?
That's right. Great seats there, guys, over there. It's like in Seattle. We've got really good seats there, guys, over on Discord. Follow the link there in our chat to the Discord. The conversation will continue there. A lot more picks and a lot of great information from the smart folks in our community there over on the Discord. So check it out. Or Ramon, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Okay, enjoyed it, boss. We'll catch you at the end with Morning Steam. Mindy and I back at it. Get Tony's videos and all. And wanted to shout out all of our new cappers as well. They're having some nice performances since joining us on the site.
They certainly are. All right, Ramon Scott here on Game Day Picks. Guys,